Today we're going to build a header for the Bremerton Food Line website. Now, headers are usually not too complicated except for menus. So we're going to use a few tools to make this easier for the menu. The first is EtchWP, which is a plugin I built that will just allow you to use the WordPress menu editor, the classic menu editor right here, and it will, when you save, automatically sync the menu to an Etch loop so that it'll show up in Etch. Next, we're going to use the basic nav component and burger component from the Etch documentation. This will allow us to loop through a JSON loop and automatically have a menu. This could also be done with the Etch menu builder that Nick put together, and it would take a little more work to do with this because his doesn't automatically loop. It just has a bunch. It's meant for building manually in Etch, but it can be used with a loop. There's also these Etch patterns, but I believe all of the navs in here are also meant to be individually edited in Etch rather than looping through a loop. So for that reason, we'll go with the basic nav because it already is set up to work with the loop. Okay, let's get started. We're going to edit with Etch, go to templates, edit, and then we'll add a section. We're going to put it at the top here. We're going to change the tag to header. And in here, what we need is first there will be a link. So this is Emmet, which is just a shorthand way of writing HTML that is supported by Etch, and then it will auto expand to be what we need. I'm not an expert at this, so I may get some of the syntax wrong, but we're going to say a.site logo, and then inside of that, so I think it sort of follows CSS syntax. So the direct child would be an image, and it shows us, you can see down here, it shows us what we will be getting. I'll have to look up the source, so we'll just let it create it without one first. Then we're going to go up a level, and then we need I think we'll use a div with a class of site menu, because I don't remember if the component includes a list item, it may. Oh, and then I hit enter, which is not what you need to do, but it is what I do almost every time. You need to hit tab. So I'm going to cut that and start over and hit tab. There we go. Okay, so now we have our link with an image and then a div of site menu, which you can see here. Now let's take the component, copy, and we're going to paste it into here. And then edit it. So here we see, here's our image, here is our basic nav. So we're gonna leave that for now and come back to it. Let's take our save the component, exit. We're gonna give this a CSS class of header, and then because I like to put all of my CSS at the, unless it's of like a component or something like that, I like to put it all at the section level, so that, although we can call this header as well, so that I can see all of it at once. So we'll do header, this is our container, and so we're gonna want it to be a flex row. What did we call our site logo? Let's do that, site logo. But go back here, put it in. Site logo, max width, let's say 180 pixels. And then this is actually, we need space between so that the items go over here, and then align center. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. We want to actually find one of the real logos. I think this one will do. And then we'll want some padding block. We'll say space extra small. Okay, that's not looking too bad, but we want an actual menu here. So we're gonna save this, and we're gonna actually close out of it, because if you have multiple Etch windows open, they can override each other, and we're gonna go create a menu that's gonna sync to Etch, but this instance of Etch doesn't know about that because it's not live updating. So, well, we can leave it open, we'll just have to refresh. Let's create a header menu. And then we're going to add a lot of these items. And we'll look at this about us comes first. Should have hit view all. That would have been a better option. So you know what? I am not gonna make you sit through all of this. I'm just going to take a few of these. About, get assistance, get involved, events, contact. About, and I'll do a couple of these, and then contact, donate, get assistance, get involved. We will do those 3 just so we have a few different drop downs. Contact will be at the end, donate will be after contact, get assistance, inclement weather, programs, resource. Okay, save our menu, and it should say syncing to Etch. Header has been synced to Etch. So now if we go here, We did already save, so we don't need to do that. We can refresh, and now if we go into loops, we should see that we have our header here. So now we can go back to where we were, template, header, container, etch component, and we can choose our new header loop. Save. Let's view this on the front end, and there we go. We have our dropdown is apparently going behind this section. Does this section have a Z index? Is main? No. Well, let's give this a Z index just in case. You have to give position relative or some sort of position to, I mean, there's a number of ways of getting Z index to work. Interesting. It looks like just the text is, oh, because I put the Z index on here, and the LI, the list item, is what has the background, I think. Well, or the list itself. So that should actually be where the, does this have a, doesn't have a Z index. Interesting. Well, we'll try giving it one. Z index 100. Okay, and that works now. So we'll need to go back in here, in our component, edit component, etch nav, drop down. Interesting, it has a 999 Z index, but that apparently doesn't apply to the drop downs, interestingly. Etch nav list. So we have to find out which one of these. Inspect nav. Etch nav underscore drop down. That's what we're looking for. So it's just missing the Z index. We have a Z index here. So if I can find drop down again, now that I copied, oh, there it is, cool. So then we'll go Z index. Oh, haha. We need to add the var. There we go. Okay, save. Now let's try this on the front end. There we go. Okay, so we have a working menu. The other thing we need, well, a couple things. One, we need the donate to look more like a button. And we need our hamburger toggle. So we can copy the burger component. We can exit our menu. We can paste this. We want it in the div. And then we can just test this. Okay, I see that we got things touching the edge here, which is not good, but also we for some reason have borders around certain elements. Oh, this is the selected, it's the focused item. But I don't know if the focus should happen automatically, but I'm not going to try and troubleshoot that while you guys are watching. So what we need is to get some space on the outside of these, which we're going to do by using gutter. So just like we have padding block on the top, I think usually the gutter is on the it appears to be on the section. So we have padding. Do we have padding? Yeah, padding inline gutter. So because we changed our heading to our header to a header instead of a section, it lost the gutter styles. So we will just add them back. Okay, now we have some space. And the last thing to do is to add some styles to our donate button to make it look more like a button. Now there are potentially a few ways to do this. We could probably use last child to some more complex CSS selectors to select just the last one. We could have made donate a separate item and just made it a more button looking and have it separate from the contact. The reason I don't want to do that though is because on mobile I want it to still be part of the menu, and I don't want to have to use JavaScript to move it into the menu when it goes to mobile or something like that. And I don't want a situation like this where you've got two separate things going on. So I just want it to be part of the menu, but I want to be able to style it separately. So I actually don't know if I've tested this, but we'll give it a try. So we're gonna, in the menu editor, we're gonna say we want to be able to edit CSS classes. Now, if we go to donate, we should see a spot for CSS classes, and we are gonna say button primary as our CSS class. That's gonna sync to Etch, and for our moment of truth, does it get the class name? No, it does not. And let's see why that is. Most likely it doesn't try to pull it from the, oops, that's the burger. We don't want that. We want the nav component. edit. So we have here, I think we should be able to go item.class. It's still using the old menu. Do we well, let's exit this, save, refresh. So we have, okay, we do have the correct menu here. Let's look in our loop to see if our header loop has a class for donate. It does not. So apparently that is an issue with the menu WP plugin. It should be saving those things to the Etch loop. So that'll be coming in another update. We are going to say classes, needs a comma there, classes button primary. Now we'll save that. And it should, I thought, it still has a class, but that's the class it came with, not classes, save, back, edit our component, link, classes is what we need. Now let's try one more time. There we go. Okay. We need to, it's not centered vertically, and we're going to want a little extra space here. So we're going to go to our list, although we're going to go to the component or the nav level so we can see all this nav. Flex direction column, align items center, I think is what we need. Yep. And then the last thing we want to do is say where probably maybe the last thing before the media query. Is there another media query here? Nope. All right. Where button primary. We don't really need to do where here. I'm just doing it because that's where all of this, what all of the rest of them do. The rest of them do this so that they have a lower CSS priority. So if we were to write like dot etch nav double underscore flyout. In our styles, it would override this because the where gives it a 0 priority. But anyway, we're gonna just say margin left space small. And there we have it. Let's double check how this looks on mobile. And it looks atrocious. What do we want to do about it? We want to give this some padding so it's not touching the edges, and let's left align it. We can do this so that we can see it, except apparently we cannot. Doesn't work within the editor, so that's gonna make it a little bit tricky. Oops, that's the burger again. I keep clicking the wrong one. Etch nav. So I need to know what this element is. Etch nav list, but this is the list only when it's the mobile menu. So we need to put this inside of our media. Just gonna see if I can find why it's centered. Oh, probably because we centered it vertically, but then we changed the direction of the flex. So display flex, align items, start. See if that was right. Nope. Etch nav. Is that is that what we needed? No, we needed etch nav list. Okay, so etch nav list, flex direction row. Though min width. Oh, these are the desktop styles. Because it's mobile first. So list align item center, justify content, start. Save. Well, you guys get to watch me troubleshoot. That didn't do it either. Well, let's start here. List. We've got display is flex, flex direction column, justify content, start. Is it align items though? Align items, start. it is. That tells us also we need a gutter, so it is lined up. Okay, so a line item center should only be on the mobile. So if we go down here, what was it? That was on the list. Align list, flex direction row, align item center, save. There we go. Although it looks like we already have, interestingly we have, there's an indent. Why does it have an indent here? Well, because all of these have margin left, so we need the one with button primary to not have a left margin. Oh, it's the margin that we added for and we added it right here, and this should have been inside of this media query, because I was still thinking that this was mobile only, but really this is desktop only. Okay, our button, I believe, should now be touching both sides. Yes. Okay, so we need probably half a gutter all the way around. Although we, yeah, at least we'll give that a shot. List padding, nav list padding. What's nav list padding? 0. Which is what we want on desktop. How many times is this used? It's used a couple times, so we're not going to just remove it. We'll go with, we were going to go with what, half of a gutter. Calc gutter divided by 2. Oh, it's not going to auto expand our var inside of calc. Okay, I think that should give us some space. It did not. Let's just give it gutter and see if that works. It does not. So where's this nav list? Oops. Oh, it's apparently there's another spot further down. Oh, right here. There we go. But it's apparently... Oh, because list... These have... It's... We need it to only apply if it's the direct child of the nav. Or we could apply it to the nav instead, actually. Now that I think about it. Nav. Do we even have a... Oh yes, etch nav. So etch nav. Oh, it's right there. We could have applied it there. Let's undo and undo. We're going to say etch nav. Padding. Well, we'll start with gutter. And for some reason it's not auto wrapping. But maybe I did something wrong. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. You can see which one has focus. Oh, on mobile, we're going to want our space to be above donate. Remember, we added it to the left on mobile, so here we're going to say so we'll put this back here and say margin top. But then that's going to need to be overridden here, so it'll go margin top 0. Okay, let's test this out. Here we have it on mobile. Here we have it on desktop. And I think that'll do it for this. Oh, except for, look at our we have more space here than here, and our food line goes gets small. We need to figure out, oh, because we added this space and I forgot to undo it on desktop. So etch nav, remember we added padding gutter, and what I wanted to do then is in the media padding 0. Okay, that looks much better. Now, do we still have this issue? It gets super tiny before. So let's change this to 1024. And then I think our exit, do we need burger? need to see if this has a, yeah, so this we need to change to 1024 as well. Save, refresh, and now at 1024 it should pop to mobile. And there we have it. Now you could style this further, but for the sake of the length of this video, we're gonna call it quits right there.